What's up, people? I am back for another video. Today, I am reviewing. Um, Sorry about the Marvel, not doing the Marvel video yesterday. I just got really busy, so I'll do that like probably over the weekend. But today, I am reviewing another Mel Gibson movie, Edge of Darkness. This one's one that came out like 2010. It's a conspiracy movie. A man named Thomas Craven, his daughter was killed, and he basically has to try to solve her murder, and it's like this big conspiracy, and it's definitely a slow burn. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's the best movie ever. If I had, it's probably on the lower end of um still a decent movie, but like definitely a little bit on the lower end on Mel's if I had to rank it compared to his other films. But it's decent. Hold on. But it's a decent movie. I think Mel has a good performance. Bennett is a decent bad guy. You find out like his daughter knew this thing about this organization called Northmore, and he basically finds a trail, and it turns out his daughter was poisoned before. Like, I'll admit, the one thing this movie gets you from the beginning though, because his daughter gets killed pretty like well. She starts like just vomiting when she gets there, and then all of a sudden they're about to take her to the hospital, and someone yells Craven, and his daughter gets capped with a shotgun, and they don't hold back. So like this is within like I clocked it. I think it's like within like 7:42, it's like 7 minutes 42 seconds or something like that. So not even 8 minutes in, and they do that. So I thought that was good. Like it is a visceral scene. Like when you see his daughter just get capped the way she does. I think my beef with the movie is it is a bit slow. Like it's slow on a little bit on the negative, and it gets to a point where like okay, something happened. But there's a scene though where Craven just beats the shit out of this dude, and because he's basically getting information out of him, and he goes up to him and just like, oh, can he? Because he comes because he's a cop, so he poses, he's doing his cop stuff, and then he's like, can you remove your glasses? And the guy removes his glasses and then just fucking wails on him because it was like a change because he says it all chill, and then the guy removes his glasses and then wham, and then just beats the shit out of him. So Mel is pretty badass in this. There's no real side characters really. Like there's like a one detective he kind of works with throughout the film he's decent, but largely it's Craven trying to get information about his daughter, which it leads back to Bennett. And Bennett, who I actually like that actor. He's in X-Men Origin. I know a lot of people don't like that movie, but he was decent as William Stryker in X-Men Origin. He's also in 30 Days a Night, and he plays a decent villain in that. And he's fine in this. He's a smarmy um, politician who, wants to keep things under wraps, kind of thing. And they have to, that's what it is. I'll recommend this movie. It's like I said, it's a little bit on the slow side. If I But Mel was great. I thought he had to put a decent performance, and I thought some of the scenes they needed like I get what they were going for where he's like seeing his daughter everywhere, but sometimes it was especially the one scene when he's like shaving and then it's like a jarring change where it's like, oh, that's a memory. It's a little bit jarring. Like I think they could have did that a little bit better. It feels random at times when he has like these memories of his daughter. And I get it, like because that could happen in real life, right? I actually thought the one scene that was really good is when this was after his daughter was murdered, and I think it's like the first night or night after his daughter died, and he's like sleeping, and then he hears like he has like like I think it's like a memory, which is actually I think this is the best moment of that when he's sleeping, and it's like a memory of his younger daughter, and then you wait, and you just hear like a shotgun blast, and then like Craven, and then shotgun, so it's like PTA. I thought that was good, but then it's just some scenes it was just kind of random. But overall, I definitely like this movie. I'd recommend it if you like Mel Gibson. It's fine. He dies in the end, and he kind of walks out with his daughter to the light. It is a little bit overhanded, but it's fine. I like it. It's Mel Gibson. Man wants to find out about his daughter. I think that aspect is fine, and it's a little bit of a revenge film, but it's decent. So if I were to rate out of a 10, 7.5 or so, I think, like I said, I have a few gripes, but overall, decent flick. So can't wait till next week though, because it's been a while since I've seen it. But we're gonna get started on the Mad Max movie. We're doing the first Mad Max, which came out in 1979. It has been a while since I've seen it, but this is the movie that really made Mel Gibson. So let's can't wait. So we're gonna be doing that one next week. But Yeah, I thought this was fine. Like, it's an okay movie. I'd recommend it if you like Mel Gibson. Tomorrow I will be doing American Wedding, so we're doing the third of the American Pie movies. I've never seen this one, so this is one I'm going in blind. So I hope I enjoy it. I hope it's decent. From people who have seen it, who I've talked to, they said it's fine. It's not like as good as the first two, but it's fine. And same with Reunion. So I've heard the last two are basically fine. They're just not as good as the first two, and I can live with that. So, but I'll be doing that tomorrow. But other than that, let's get started. um, so the movie kind of gets going quick. Like I said, he picks up his daughter from the airport. They have a little bit of a conversation on the way to the house. They're about to have dinner, and then his daughter just, I think, starts puking and starts to feel sick, and he's wondering what's going on. And then he's about to take her to the hospital. And when they get outside, a car pulls up. A guy gets out, screams Craven, and shoots his daughter. Pretty brutal. Like, you see like a little bit of intestine because she gets shot in the chest, and she like flies. It's like so. I'll admit they shot this scene pretty brutal. Like, it's very visceral. You feel for him. You know, he's holding his daughter in his hands. And then the police arrive. They ask him questions, and then at this point, he starts like doing his own investigation. And then we basically find out that it was Bennett who's actually the one, and it turns out that his daughter is actually an activist who had evidence against this experimental facility, Northmore, I think was the name. And we find out that there's this whole thread, and that's basically the movie. Like, there's not a lot. Like, I'll say this in terms of like, that's why this review is probably not gonna be uber analytical, because I mean, it's very straightforward. It is a conspiracy movie. So, like, he finds out stuff like his daughter knew, and she had ties to this politician, and like, so I do like that the movie doesn't just beat it over your head, and then throughout the film too, you know, like I said, he's having, you know, memories of his daughter. Like I said, the scene where he's sleeping and he, you know, he's having a dream, and then he hears the gunshot and he just wakes up all frantic. I thought that was probably the best moment for Mel in terms of acting. He, like, that was a great performance in that scene. Um, and he starts just basically getting information. Um, you know, Bennett is meeting with people to try to, you know, stop the deal. Bennett's your typical, you know, bad guy. I love the scene where Mel just beats the shit out of this dude because he comes in as a cop and he's like, you know, can you remove your glasses? And then just, like I said, beats the shit out of him. And he has like a radio act, like a thing that, you know, detects radiation. And when he detects it, it turns out that the milk was it was poisoned, was poison, and it turns out that he also drank the milk. So his health kind of starts deteriorating throughout the film. I do think there's a little bit of that does become a little secondary. It's almost like it's not necessarily a negative. Excuse me, sorry about that. I don't necessarily see that as a negative. It's just it is a little bit like I had to point that out. Like, it does feel like secondary that he's poisoned. Like, it's almost like you kind of just you didn't need to do that. You could have just had him just investigate his daughter. I honestly think maybe they should have just not did the whole radiation poisoning thing. They should have just had her get shot, and that's it. And that you could really, the movie could still play out the same, that she saw something else and then they had to get rid of her. I think that would have worked better. It was just a little, but I do like the scenes where he is working with um Mel's character Thomas, because there's a scene where he runs into this guy who works with the senator. You see him later on, and he starts taking a liking to Thomas, and they start having like secret meetings. And I do like those moments in the film too. Like, it's a very dialogue heavy movie. It's not like action packed. There's action scenes for sure, but it's definitely on the. It's like, even though this came out first, Dragged Across Concrete, more of a dialogue film, and I think the dialogue's fine. So I'm not like, oh, can this end? Like, there's some scenes where I'm like, okay, it's a little slow, but when we get about an hour, bit over an hour in, it does get going. So he kind of starts working his way up to Bennett. Oh, he arrests one of the people that works for Bennett. And then he ends up getting captured because he starts really getting affected by the poisoning, and it turns out that detective that he worked with he pretty much sells him out. That does get unresolved because they don't address that later in the movie. Like, because what ends up happening is the guy sells out Craven to that guy. He gets captured, breaks out, which I thought was a little too easy. He breaks out, knocks out the guy, and then gets back to his house, and then we just never see that detective character again. I do think that was, like, I have to, that's a criticism. Like, that's almost like, you don't, why is this character in there? You could have even written it that he gets shot. You don't have to have him set him up. If you're gonna do that, at least have um like a thing that addresses it. It's just distracting because it's like, this guy fucked him over and then just doesn't address it. It's like, okay. So he gets out, ends up going to Bennett's, kills that guy, which I thought that scene was pretty brutal. Um he ends up Bennett shoots him, but Bennett still gets taken down. Craven gives him the milk, forces him to drink the milk that's poisoned. Bennett tries to get to the pills, but the pills are empty, and then Bennett gets shot. And then he goes to the hospital. I'm just gonna skip over this scene because there's a scene. Oh, I'm gonna talk about this one where not Bennett, where Craven meets with like some senator and tries to tell him about the conspiracy. So, like, I think the conspiracy stuff of the movie is pretty good. It's fine, it's. I do think like a little bit more could have been done, but it's fine. It's serviceable. But he ends up. So after killing him, he goes to the hospital and basically dies because his daughter comes. Like, it's a nurse that comes in, but he thinks it's his daughter, and then they cut away, and then he walks out with his daughter. It's basically the implication, and they're going to the, like, he's dead and he's joining his daughter. That's a fine ending. It works. His job is done. He got revenge for his daughter. I do wish the film was a little bit more action packed, just maybe a smidgen, but it's fine. I think it's an enjoyable movie. The plot's decent enough. They get the conspiracy part. I just like seeing Mel, be a badass. So I think overall this movie's fine. It's just, I do think there could have been a little bit more, but it's fine. So it's about all I really got. So 7 out of 10. I'd recommend it. So tomorrow, I will be doing American Wedding, like I said, going in blind. So we'll be watching that Saturday, either Saturday or Sunday, like early Saturday, Sunday, and we'll maybe do 2 videos. I'll do my Marvel movie pitch part 2 and Snakes on a Plane. I'm not kidding. I'm reviewing that. I haven't watched that in a while, and just I had the urge, so we're blah. And there's nothing out this weekend anyway, so I figured, why not? Fuck it, we'll do Snakes on a Plane. So that's my plan. So Sunday, Snakes on a Plane for sure. But it could all, like I said, it could be 2 videos because I might either do, if I don't do the Marvel movie pitch, I'm gonna try to see if I could do it on Saturday. I'll see what's going on, but if I don't do it Saturday, I'll do it Sunday. So I actually might try to do it Saturday. It could be like Saturday night, maybe Saturday night I'll do it. If I got nothing going on, and then Sunday for sure, Snakes on a Plane. So that's my plan schedule for at least the next few days. But yeah, Edge of Darkness is decent. Decent little flick, and that's probably what I'll probably title the video. So, but other than that, talk to y'all tomorrow. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.